A 1-year-old boy is dead after being run over by a car.
It happened in Tice as the family returned home from a flea market. A neighbor says that's when the man who drove the family back home hit Pedro Wanta as he was leaving. The same neighbor, Melissa Hernandez, heard the screams and ran over immediately to help. She spoke exclusively to Wink News.
Little girl come running to my car, help me, help me, help me. So I got out, tried to see what was going on. And that's when I found the 2-year-old baby not breathing and gasping for air and stuff.
FHP says medics took Wanta to Lee Memorial Hospital, but he didn't make it. The investigation is ongoing.
And some people living in one Lehigh Acres neighborhood say they are considering moving after a homicide there. Lee County Sheriff deputies say 28-year-old Paul Peterson was shot several times. He was found lying on the street at Homer and 2nd Street Southwest around 6 last night. The Major Crimes Unit is now investigating.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 6:30.
A 1-year-old boy is dead after being run over in Tice. Only Wink News hears from the woman who tried to save him.
A man is found shot several times in a Lehigh Acres intersection, what some neighbors say they're considering doing now.
And thousands of migrants are applying for asylum in the U.S. Right now, one part of the U.S. border is temporarily closed. In Tice, a 1-year-old boy's toys left behind after he was killed, run over by a car in front of his family's home. And tonight we are hearing from the woman who tried to save his life. Only Wink News reporter Morgan Reiner spoke to her. Now, Morgan, where did this all happen?
This all happened right here in this driveway.
An overnight shooting in Cape Coral has been ruled an accident. The 3600 block of Country Club Boulevard was taped off. Police say one person was shot in the torso and leg. It happened when someone in the back seat accidentally fired a gun through the front seat and hit the person sitting there. The man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word if charges will be filed. And a man is facing child neglect charges after deputies say he had his 5-year-old son sitting on his lap in a van after he had been drinking. Delia Sanchez was stopped on I-75 yesterday morning. Investigators say he was in a white U-Haul van and had been driving erratically. They say he stole stuff from his mother's house, including a TV speaker. One person is dead after a reported distracted driver hit several bicyclists in Davie. It happened around 8:30 this morning. At least 6 people were taken to the hospital where one of the cyclists is in critical condition. The driver told police she was distracted but doesn't remember from what. Investigators say speed, alcohol, or drugs. Several hundred Central American migrants have marched towards the international border crossing between Tijuana and California to pressure the U.S. into hearing their asylum claims. More than 5,000 migrants are camped in and around a sports complex in Tijuana after making their way through Mexico in recent weeks via caravan. Agents at the San Ysidro entry point are processing fewer than 100 asylum petitions a day. Meantime, border agents have closed the southbound and northbound lanes at that border crossing.
Wink News, the Weather Authority.
A strong area of low pressure is dumping snow across the Midwest overnight tonight. Details on this snowstorm and its impacts for us even here in Southwest Florida coming up.
And these are not your normal sandcastles, the creations on Fort Myers Beach that have plenty of people fascinated.
And was it a case of curiosity or confusion? What happened at one police station in California that left officers in a state of shock?
The shovels and pails are resting for another year as the Inyo Sand Sculpting Festival on Fort Myers Beach has come to a close. More than 40 different teams took part in Championship Sunday. Crews have been working since Tuesday. There were a number of sculptures, including a castle, various statues, and a tribute to the firefighters in California.
One of the most important things about this event is we have to return the beach as soon as possible back to the way that we have it. That's part of our relationship with the Department of Environmental Protection. It's also a turtle nesting area here, so we've got to make sure that the sand is returned to the same levels and depths that it is on the beach. And a lot of people don't realize that because they want to come and check them out after the event.
Now, don't worry if you missed this year's event. It will be held again next year around Thanksgiving.
Zach Watts joining us now for a look at our local weather, and it's really amazing that Florida seems to just be like its own world in comparison to the rest of the
Which
country.
I'm okay with.
Right.
It's why many of us and many of you all actually moved down here to get away from that wintry weather mess across much of the Midwest for tonight as well as for tomorrow. In fact, across the state right now, we are just seeing that mostly cloudy sky, rain-free sky. But here is a...
Should these fingerprint devices be used for a lunch school program? Well, one father outside of Omaha, Nebraska says the answer is no. The school system says it prevents kids going without lunch by misentering their lunch card number. Justin Osterfoss believes parents should be able to decide whether or not they want their child's fingerprints used.
The email states they aren't going to store the fingerprints, but they have to have some sort of recognition of this is who it's identifying. But as of right now, I don't feel comfortable with the biometrics.
Now, surrounding school districts have the technology, but Osterfoss says you can't change your social security number, you can change your password, you can change your bank account number, but you can't change your fingerprint, making it dangerous. That's especially since it's stored somewhere else.
A competition for cause and for dogs, surfing, a doggy bikini contest, and other games all supported doggy adoption.
Oh my God!
I would love to see you and Cotton do that.
Yeah, or you and Gaston.
He would fall off the board right away.
I would watch this. I would definitely watch this.
The dog would fall off. You wouldn't fall off.
I mean, both of us would.
Actually, he'd probably do pretty well, just cruising on.
Oh, yeah. I think the dog would stay on first. Thing John falls
exactly.
off first. In terms of our local forecast, we are seeing warm temperatures overnight tonight. Cooler temperatures, 40s expected Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, thanks for joining us. Have a